Okay, what's she suggesting?
Okay.
I changed these others to Mike's to default and applied it.
All right, so Wendy, I'm at the computer, and so log out and switch user? Yeah, all right. Okay. Yes, okay, and then the password? And is it, okay. Yeah, but nobody can hear.
That's right. Okay, so now we want to shut this one down?
Yeah, so let's shut, sorry, Wendy, give me 1 sec. Yeah, just shut you here. Can you hear now, Wendy?
Where's the VCR? No, to the recording. Oh, there it is.
All right, is it on? Can you, right there, the button here? Can you hear us, or what's
Now
the-
it's on. When it's red, it's on.
Can anybody speak into the mic real quick, see if she can hear
Testing, testing.
you? All right, Wendy hears you on Facebook, guys. All right.
Oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
okay. Sheila hears us too.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now, I don't know whether I'm.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Improviduto. That was technical help from our Township Committee member there.
Hold on, he wants to
So-
make sure we're recording as well.
Yeah, I'm looking for the recording.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay,
Okay.
there we go.
Are you seeing on Facebook? Is that what you're doing, Chad?
No, I'm just starting the recording.
Okay, you're just starting now.
Okay, it says it's recording now.
Okay, I apologize for everybody. Because of the technical glitch and Facebook audio, we're not absolutely sure whether the audio recording of that, rather be kind of our abundance of caution. We are going to restart from the very beginning so that any legal requirement, if there's people don't hear it, in terms of Open Public Meetings Act notice and so on. So I apologize, guys, but we're going to just to make sure that we're in compliance and legal. So we're going to start right from the very top. So I'm calling this meeting to order. Counselor, if you can read the Open Public Meetings Act notice, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I hereby announce that pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the notice which was sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and posted on the bulletin board in Township Hall, and filed in the Township Clerk's office.
Okay, can you do roll call, please, just to make sure?
Commissioner Burke.
Here.
Commissioner Buffalino.
Here.
Commissioner Gilstein.
Here.
Vice Chair Casting.
Here.
Chair Kinji.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum. I'm going to make an executive decision. I think we can skip the Pledge of Allegiance. We did do that. So we had, on the first order of business after that is the approval of minutes. So could I get a motion to approve the minutes for March 3rd and March 16th meetings, please?
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you for that. So the second item is a discussion of the referendum with the recommendation. At the last meeting, we all had reached a consensus that we would recommend changing of the charter study, the charter, and because of that, there is a requirement that that is going to be in the form of a public question, and that public question will be placed on a ballot before to be voted on by Holmdel residents. So what I want to do is read a section of the law and the implication for us to decide. So this is from NJSA 40:69A15, and I quote, "If the Charter Commission shall recommend that the question of adopting one of the optional plans of the government authorized by this act shall be submitted to the voters of the municipality, it shall be the duty of the municipal clerk to cause the question or adoption or rejection to be placed upon the ballot at such time as the Commission shall in its report specify. The Commission may cause the question to be submitted to the people at the next general or regular municipal election occurring not less than 60 days following the filing of the copy of the Commission's report with the clerk, or at a special election occurring not less than 60 days or more than 120 days after the filing of the report, at such time as the Commission's report shall direct." So we were in the process of open discussion for that. I don't know if we had open discussion, and then Commissioner Burke had. You want to summarize what you said? Maybe that's the best way.
So the question is whether we have a special election fairly soon. A minimum of 60 days after the recommendations are filed to 120 days, or whether we wait till the November election. And on the side of going to November, normally you get a larger turnout. The negatives are that the ballot will be full. There'll be midterm elections, there'll be candidates for various, for local elections, for county elections. So it's going to be a ballot that's probably going to have two sides. You're going to have the Board of Ed, so it's going to be a busy ballot, which often, as we heard during the expert testimony, can be confusing. And people may be confused whether they're voting for a change of government and also voting for candidates. It can be confusing. So in my mind, even though there may be less turnout, I don't know if that's necessarily so. I think it'll be less confusing. I think we can focus on this issue, and I think people will get out to vote. It's an important issue, and it's just one thing that they can focus on. And while it's still fresh in their mind, because we've just been doing this for 6 months, putting it off for another 4 or 5 months, I don't know that we gain from that. So I think we should go ahead and go towards a special election once the recommendations are filed.
Thank you. Commissioner Gilstein, I think you added some comment as well, too.
Yes, I mean, I kind of echo that sentiment that I think that this question is top of mind now because we've had a number of public hearings, we've heard from a lot of people from the public, and it certainly seems that there's a lot of interest in this question, given discussions postings I see here and there. So I think people are ready to deal with this question, and the sooner it happens, the better, because now is when it's top of mind and people are considering this. I think it'll just be lost if we waited 5 months until November.
Thank you. Anyone else? I don't know. I think it's the AC, the vent. It's the vent, it's not the vent.
I'll just add my support to what Commissioner Burke and Commissioner Gilstein just said about having it sooner rather than delaying it another 3 or 4 months into the fall. I personally think this warrants a special election, given the topic that we're talking about here. And I think people will understand that when we announce the fact that there will be a referendum sooner than November. I'm not worried about the turnout. I think if we make the announcement and we make sure it's well advertised, that I think the turnout will be there. Now, the summertime, people do go on vacation, I get that. But there's always something going on, whether it's a pandemic or something else that will cause things to happen. So the report's going to be filed. We should do it within the time frame specified within the law. So I'm in favor of that as well.
Thank you.
Let me just say I agree with everything that's been said. No sense my repeating it all.
Okay. Well, I agree with everything that's been said. I do think that this is too important. It should be standalone. The normal November elections, as most of you know, have, this is midterm as well too, with a new congressional district as well too. And I just think there's a lot of November politics that goes on there, and lots of lawn signs and so this is too important. It should be standalone. This should be the only question on the ballot. My guess is that, again, this is been very topical. There's been a lot of things on the social media on this, so it is on people's mind. So I agree with that. I do think that by looking at this thing, let's set a time frame. I was just looking at the calendar. Now, by law, this cannot occur less than 60 days, and obviously that is to allow all the various, whether it's county clerk, the board of election, the superintendent of election, and so on, to make sure that they have sufficient time for preparation. And clearly, the legislative intent, when they put in not more than 120 days, to me signals that this shouldn't be there should be some sense of urgency. It doesn't have to be rushed, but it doesn't. It shouldn't be dilly-dally and go beyond the 120 days. So the general election is not quite, but almost 6 months away. So I completely agree with what the other commissioner have said. Just quickly looking at the calendar now, it looks like, and Counselor, correct me if I'm wrong here, but today is May 12th. I expect to file the report tomorrow with the Holmdel Township clerk. And so, according to that, then the earliest election by law that you could have would be July 13th, but typically elections are held on Tuesdays. So the first Tuesday after that would be July 19th. And what I would recommend is actually, the week after that, so just give an extra week. They clearly claim 60 days is a minimum. The 19th would be almost 67, 66 days. So if you go to July 26th, that would be, roughly 74 days, I think, from the time the report would be filed. So, if there's any discussion on that, I will be happy to entertain. But my suggestion is maybe to specify a special election on July 26th. For the ballot to be placed there, and with the recommendation of the public questions to be on there. So, can I get a motion for that?
Moved.
Move. Okay. Second. Counselor, why don't you take a roll call on that? So the motion is to have the special election on July 26th for the referendum for the recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, so I'll take the roll call. Commissioner Burke,
Yes.
Commissioner Buffalino,
Yes.
Commissioner Gilstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Castaning,
Yes.
and Chairman Kenji.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
Thank you. Okay, so next item is the approval of the Charter Study Commission. As we said, all the work that the commission have done thus far, and the recommendation is formalized in a formal report, and that has to be filed with the clerk. Now, at the last meeting, we did discuss a number of the rationales, and we have consensus. What I'd like to do is, the report, once it's adopted and filed, will be public record. It will be available. Anyone who could go to the county clerk will post it on I'm going to ask to be posted on the township's website. It will be posted on the Charter Study Commission website. And anyone can get a copy of that. But for now, let me just read the executive summary that is on there, and it's fairly short, so you could bear with me. In the November 2021 general election, the voters of the Township of Holmdel approved a public question to form a Charter Study Commission and also elected the 5 commissioners to serve on the commission. The commission operates under the Optional Municipal Charter Law, OMCL, under NJSA 40:69A at 1 exec, also known as the Faulkner Act, which states that, and I quote, "It shall be the function and duty of the Charter Commission to study the form of the government of the municipality, to compare it with other available forms under the laws of this state, to determine whether or not in its judgment the government of the municipality could be strengthened, made more clearly responsive or accountable to the people, or whether its operation could be more economical or efficient under a changed form of government." The commission interviewed experts and current and former elected municipal officials and received input from Holmdel residents. After studying the current form of government and the forms of government available under OMCL, the Charter Study Commission has unanimously concluded that Holmdel's current Township Committee form of government can be strengthened and made more clearly responsive and accountable to the people if it's changed to the OMCL Council Manager form. The Township Committee form of government, which is over 200 years old, is similar to the Council Manager form of government, except that Township Committee form lacks 3 important features available to the Council Manager form. 1, direct election of mayor. 2, initiative and referendum by petition. And 3, nonpartisan elections. Under Township Committee form of government, Holmdel residents do not have the power to elect the mayor directly. Instead, the mayor is selected by the Township Committee members. Under the Township Committee form of government, Holmdel residents do not have the power of initiative and referendum, which would allow them to petition to place on the ballot a proposal for a new law or the repeal of an existing law. Under the Township Committee form of government, elections can be held only on a partisan basis, which affords political party bosses who are not residents of Holmdel the power to select candidates to run on a party line for the Township Committee. Those selected candidates have a significant advantage to be elected over candidates who are not on party line. By contrast, the more modern council manager form of government allows for direct election of the mayor, initiative and referendum by petition, and nonpartisan elections, while retaining the structure of the current Township Committee form of government. These features provide more power to the residents, encourage greater participation in local government by its citizens, and discourage outside influences. It is therefore the unanimous conclusion of the Charter Study Commission that Holmdel's Township Committee form of government be changed to the council manager form. And it says the full report follows. So I've said it a couple of times now, the recommendation of the Charter Study Commission are only a recommendation. It will be in the form of a public question that will be placed on the ballot. Let me read to you what the form of public question would look like. And I quote, "Shall the council manager plan of the optional municipal charter law providing for 5 council members to be elected at large for staggered terms at nonpartisan election held in November, with the mayor elected directly by the voters, be adopted by the Township of Holmdel, ? So that would be the question on the ballot, and residents will get to vote yes or no on that. There will be an explanatory statement to that public question. I won't read that. It's very straightforward. In the report, we do have very detailed of the phase 1, phase 2, and the phase 3, which we had divided into. Phase 3 was the deliberation. There's that really was the discussion we had the last meeting. It had all the rationale for the discussion. And I would encourage all of you, if you want, it's pretty easy reading. It's not heavy legalese or anything like that. So that will be available publicly once we formally adopt the report and file with the clerk. Anyone else want to make any comment? Okay, with that, we have worked, like Commissioner Burke has said, the last several weeks, working on preparation of that report. A version of that has been filed. I'd like to entertain a motion to formally approve that report that will be filed.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay. Counselor, could you take a roll call, please?
Commissioner Burke,
Yes.
Commissioner Buffalino,
Yes.
Commissioner Gilstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Castning,
Yes.
Chairman Kinji.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you. Okay, with that, just want to take the opportunity to really say thank you to a lot of people, especially to the elected officials who have so generously given their time to be interviewed, and to the experts who have made presentation to this commission. I also want to thank, as you can witness today, what goes on here and how these meetings are run, whether it's live or through Zoom. There are a lot of people at the Holmdel Township administration that really help us behind the scenes, and I really want to thank them that they allow us to kind of run our meetings, and most of the time without any glitches, and to just kind of carry on with our duties. We also have two consultants that really help us immensely. The first one is Bonnie Thomas, who is the commission secretary and who had worked really hard diligently getting us the minutes to these meetings. Some of the meetings, it's been over 3 hours and fairly lengthy and with some interruptions, so we really appreciate her there. But also, sitting right next to me is our counselor, Kevin Starkey, who his tremendous legal knowledge and expertise in a really arcane area has been a tremendous help in allowing to guide us through this whole process. So, Kevin, I just want to say thank you very much.
Thanks,
I think without your assistance, this will be a lot harder journey for us.
I
So,
appreciate that.
thank you. And, last but not least, about, most of all, really, I really want to thank my fellow commissioners because, not only have you stepped up to serve on the commission, your hard work and dedications really all should be congratulated. And also at times, I think your forbearance and tolerance also should be really commended. So from the bottom of my heart, I really want to thank you guys for the service and for what you've done, all your efforts. With that, let me turn over. Does any other commissioners want to say anything?
I'll just add my thanks to everybody that you mentioned. A lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, even though we did kind of finish a little bit earlier than the time allotted to us. But I personally developed a lot of insight and information that I had not known about the whole political system, not just municipality-wise, but from the state down. So this was a learning experience for me, and I hope it was for everyone else that can now see clearly the designs of our political system, the ballot designs, how things get done. We've tried to be as responsive as we could to those issues. I think we have in terms of the recommendations we've made. I do hope the voters will see it that way. And I think from this learning experience, I think everybody will get something out of this at the end. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else want to?
All right, I'll speak. I certainly echo thanking everybody, and especially my fellow commissioners. When I've been a resident of Holmdel for 36 years, and I think it's a wonderful town. I've really enjoyed living here. And when we embarked on this, my thought was always, it's not about whether there's something wrong, it's about whether we could be something even better. And I think that's really exactly the mission we were set out to do, was whether the municipality could be strengthened and made more clearly responsive and accountable to the people. And I think through these analyses that we've done and all the people we've listened to, and in particular, like a lot of the public hearings, it's clear that it is possible for us to be better. And I think the recommendations that we've unanimously come to will really strengthen our town. I'm very proud of the work we've done, and I'm very appreciative of the professionalism that all my other commissioners have come with in executing this program, this commission. So I'm proud of the work we've done, and I thank you all.
Thank you.
I'll echo everything that's been said. No need to repeat it, but Bonnie did an outstanding job. I would not have liked being that person, because those minutes are critical to this whole process, and they capture everything that was said and done, as well as the recordings, obviously, which were verbatim. So thank her for us. And Kevin, thank you for your guidance here. It's been valuable, and as Jerry said, it's been a learning experience for me as well. Janet and I have been elected officials before, so perhaps we didn't have as heavy a lift in terms of the learning, but nonetheless, I did learn a lot. And I went into this with an open mind, as I've indicated once before. And the decision that has been rendered here unanimously is the one that I wholeheartedly support. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Kin G for his leadership here. He's done an outstanding job of moving this whole process along. I've watched Red Bank do their process, and it's lumbering along. And that's not to say they aren't doing the right thing. But I'm sure they'll reach a conclusion that's beneficial to them in terms of a referendum. But we didn't need any more time. We covered everything, and it's because we did it effectively and efficiently, and I thank everybody for that.
Thank you.
Okay. I didn't speak yet. So there's a lot of echoing today, so I will echo what everybody has to say. I do want to thank all of you. It's been a pleasure working with everybody. I want to give special thanks to Ken, especially over these last 5 weeks working on the report. You're an incredibly hard worker. You are meticulous, and I am very proud and pleased with the final product. And I'm really in awe of how much work you do and how you've led us through this whole process. I want to thank you deeply for that. I also do want to thank Kevin. You've guided us through this process. This was totally new to all of us, and there were times when I really felt we had to make sure that we were doing everything correctly, and you always responded quickly and gave us really good guidance in going through. It's now going to be a public question. I hope people cut out to vote. I hope everybody is talking about it. I hope that they will accept our recommendations. If they don't, I will be happy to see that people go out and vote and become more engaged in the whole governmental procedure. If we get nothing else but that, I will be pleased. I definitely would like the recommendations and the question to pass, but I will be happy if people really are interested in this and passionate about it. I think that's a great thing. So once again, thank you, and thank you to the people that have come every single time expressing your opinions. They're important, and we have to hear from everybody. There are always different sides to every issue, and that makes us better as a community. So I appreciate everybody coming, and thank you.
I'm sorry, no, this is a deliberation, and then once we're done with it. I'm sorry, sir, you're out of order, sir. Okay. All right. I appreciate it. I think we're done with the agenda, and unless anyone has new business,
I consider it a good omen that we're filing the report on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's, well,
Okay, on that note, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.